All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandra Jasso, and I am happy to be your host for this series, Bringing Wisdom to Life. Today, we have a special guest. Her name is Alix Rowland, and she will give us a special, very, very special class about the 6 flavors of emptiness. So thank you, Alix, for being here. We are very honored to have you. She's the director of Sky Harvest. She has a company of seeds to success, if that's correct. She's one of the ACI certified teachers. She's also DCI trainer, and she's a very good friend. So thank you for being here, Alix, and please, you can start the class.
Thank you so much, Ale. You have such a joyful and beautiful smile for, I know it's early in the morning for you. And as I look at all of your faces, I see a lot of joy out there. That's a great way to be, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening. So thank you for bringing your joy here and for taking your precious time to be here to learn this really important topic, the 6 flavors of emptiness, particularly how we can apply it to our daily life. Thanks so much to the translators. We can't do this without you. And it's really a miracle that people around the world can all come together and learn together. It's so fantastic. In this class, what I'd like to do today is talk about how to keep our joy. Things happen throughout our day, or we have big problems hanging over our heads that throw us off our center. Let's think about joy as being our center. That's where we want to stay. That's where we want to live. Because when we're joyful, we're able to help others more effectively. We're able to have more energy to be able to do our work more effectively. We can be more creative. But things sometimes happen during the day that start to throw us off balance. And that's really what we're going to be focusing on today, is what to do when we start losing our joy or becoming off balance. The tool that we're going to use for that is these 6 flavors of emptiness. Many of you may have already heard of these or have studied them before. And Rebecca taught on them 2 weeks ago. So my intention is not to go deeply into the meaning and the subtle meanings of each one, but to focus more on how we can apply it to our daily life. At the end, I'll give you a resource of the class that I used to study for this course. So you could go listen to Geshe Michael teach it, or Rebecca's recording should be available somewhere for more details. We're going to go through two flavors and then do a meditation. And then we'll repeat that, 2 flavors and a meditation. So the idea is that you really have a tool that you can use every morning, depending on what your situation is each day. If you have any questions along the way, please feel free to raise your hand. Then I think I get a notification that someone has raised their hand. More than happy to discuss as we go along. So we're going to work on recognizing our misunderstanding. It is said that every time we feel upset, anytime our peace of mind is disturbed, it's because we're not understanding things correctly. So we can use our upsets and our off-balance feelings, or even if we get very angry, we can use those as indicators that it's time to check our 6 levels of emptiness. You've heard maybe about taking refuge. Taking refuge means going to help, going to get help from somebody that you think can help you, or something that you think can help you when there's a problem. And the highest form of refuge is taking refuge in emptiness. The mind that understands emptiness, that's the emptiness of the mind of the Buddha, the emptiness of our own mind. The teachings on emptiness, and also on those who have seen emptiness directly. So emptiness is a huge theme in taking refuge. I just wanted to remind you of that, so that when we're thinking about how can we use emptiness during our day, we're thinking we can take refuge in emptiness when there's a problem. So we're watching for our peace of mind. I see Marina's giving thumbs up. Is that for something else? Okay. So peace of mind is going to be the barometer. We want to stay in the center, stay in peace of mind, which is a joyful mind, noticing when we lose that state of mind. And that's our indicator that it's time to take refuge. It's time to think about emptiness. Another reason to think about emptiness during our day, all day long, is because it's a powerful antidote to any negative seeds we planted in the past. If we're having a problem today, it's because of something we did in the past. Something we thought, said, or a deed that we did that was negative. A negative seed in the past creates a negative result today. By thinking about emptiness when we're having a problem, we're automatically doing the most powerful antidote to that negative seed. So this slide is a pep talk for thinking about emptiness during our day. And I chose this picture of this child playing because let's not get too serious about it. We are going to fall off our joy during the day, and then we can jump back on. So we're going to go to the first flavor of emptiness. And this is a picture of a car, my car, that I used to own. And so I thought I would give an example of an object that you could use. You're not going to use my car, but I'm going to use an example of an object that I'm going to use in the meditation so that you can start thinking about what object you'd like to use. Geshe Michael, in the original teachings that I listened to, said that for the first 4 flavors of emptiness, you might pick a physical object. So this car did not have very many miles on it. I'm sorry about miles versus kilometers, but consider it a low mileage vehicle. And I had the feeling that this vehicle was going to drive around for me when I needed it to, that it wouldn't change. I just figured the next day this car would be there for me again. That's the misunderstanding, what we call the gotcha. A car that doesn't change anytime soon. My car, which is going to be there for me to drive the next day. The truth of the matter is that the causes that created me having this car are constantly changing. And even on a scientific level, we know that the cells in the car are constantly changing. The metal and the rubber in this car are changing slowly or quickly over time. What happened to me is that I was doing some shopping and I went into the store. I came back out of the store, started up my car. It started. I drove halfway down the aisle of parked cars and it died. It just stopped working. And I was able to kind of roll to a curbside right in front of Walmart where there's a lot of traffic. And I tried to start it again. Other people came, tried to help me start it. Finally, people who worked in the store had to come and push my car out of the way of the front of the store and around the corner to wait for the tow truck. So the first flavor of emptiness is I was upset because I misunderstood that my car would still work for me. I was so surprised. And I had things to do. So I was definitely off balance. At this point, I was off balance. I was stranded and my car wasn't working anymore. As the story goes on, it has a lot of layers of trouble. But I think I'll go into that a little bit more in the second flavor of emptiness. What I'd like you to do right now is think about a time perhaps where you lost something that was precious to you. You lost a piece of jewelry or ruined some favorite piece of clothing. It doesn't have to be an object. I'll say that now because you may have some big problem on your mind and maybe you want to use your current problem, which might not have to do with a material thing. If you're having financial problems, though, you can use money as a material object to think of in the meditation. So just to review, the misunderstanding, the gotcha is things don't change. The things we care about won't change and leave us. There's another flavor of this for me, and that is when things are hard, things are tough, we feel like they're never going to change. We feel like we're stuck in a bad situation that will never change. That's a misunderstanding also. When we cancel this thing that doesn't exist, an unchanging thing, we get to the flavor of emptiness, which is that things are not unchanging. They are absent of this quality of staying the same. We know things are constantly changing. Intellectually, we know that. But when you get upset, That's the time to check. Was I thinking that this would never happen to me? That my car couldn't break down? That my spouse couldn't leave me? That I couldn't get fired from my job? That my country couldn't fall apart? So that's the first level of emptiness, and the first question we can ask ourselves when we're upset. This isn't real emptiness. Real emptiness. Only the sixth flavor is the emptiness that can really help us. But these ways of bringing our mind slowly up will help us get a deeper, more complete understanding of emptiness. And check your mind for this very first level. Until you get on this first level, understanding that things are constantly changing, you're not even getting anywhere close. Now, here is the second flavor of emptiness. I chose this picture because this woman, to me, she looks like she has it all together. Her lipstick is just perfect. It's not smeared. She didn't get lipstick on her white collar or spill coffee on it. Yeah, she's got everything under control. That's a misunderstanding that we have. We feel like we're in control of our car. So I thought I was in control of my car, that my car wouldn't wander off and do this crazy thing. So my car broke down in the parking lot. Then my partner, Ben, helped me with the tow truck because he has towing insurance. So he went to meet the tow truck driver who couldn't make it until the next day. And they were late. They had all kinds of problems. And I'm starting to feel very out of control. And it's upsetting to me because I had my life planned out a certain way. And it didn't turn out that way. Finally, the car makes it to the mechanics, gets towed to the mechanics. Then I'm waiting to hear that there's going to be a repair needed. And I'm not feeling like I have control of the situation anymore, and it's upsetting to me. Then the mechanic finally calls me and tells me my car is ruined. The only way to fix it is to put a new engine in. And it's going to cost $10,000. So now my whole idea of me being in control, organizing my life in a certain way, having a car, having savings, it's all ruined, and I feel very upset. So that's my example to hopefully help you when you think about how did you feel like you were in control of this thing that you lost. So the object of our first meditation is something that was special to you that you lost, or something you care a lot about. And you don't even have to have lost it yet. Maybe you have something very special, your house. I love the house that I'm in. So you can look at, how do you think about your house as not changing? How do you think about being in control of your house? I know if I paint it and I do my maintenance, I'm going to have this house. It will do what I say. The gakcha is a house or a car or your favorite thing that you own and you're in control of. You get to say where it goes, when it goes. The misunderstanding is that gakcha. And the truth is, we don't have any control in this moment. It's important to add in this moment. because we do know that with seeds, oops, sorry about that. I was actually wanting to stop screen share. I'm having trouble finding there it is, a little button for that. We know from seeds that we can plant different causes. Okay, so let's get ready to meditate. This is going to be our meditation on the first two. We've entered the realm of not being normal people, and now we're trying to understand the emptiness of the things around us. So hopefully you brought something that you wanted to meditate on, a problem or an object. And now you can close your eyes and sit up tall. Bring your attention to your breath. Let the breath bring you into the present moment, focusing on the sensation of the breath. Recall that we're learning how to take refuge in emptiness, and that's why we're doing this class. Learning how an understanding of emptiness can help us in our day. When we can remain more joyful, we're able to be of help to others. Bring to mind now the object of your meditation, which could be an object or a thing that you really care about. Or it could be a situation if you have something pressing right now. Just take a moment to get clear on what that is. What is this thing that you're going to think about? What does it look like? What does it feel like? We're going to purposefully misunderstand this object. Try to get the feeling that it's unchanging. Get in touch with that part of yourself that thinks that this will be the same tomorrow. I'm recalling the feeling of my car that will work for me tomorrow. Now cancel that feeling that the object of your meditation is unchanging. Just get rid of that. Poof, it disappears. Know from our logic that it's not true. Anything could change at any time, and everything is constantly changing. But focus on the absence of this unchanging quality we thought it had. Doesn't exist, never existed. Let's go on in the meditation now to bringing up on purpose the misunderstanding that we're in control of our things or of situations, if you're using the situation. Try to bring up that feeling that we have inside that we are controlling things. We're the director of the play. We do many things and try many things to organize things the way we want them to be. Now, that strong feeling of that we can control things. Cancel that. Just poof. That's not true. There are forces greater than me controlling what's happening right now. In this moment, I don't have any control of what's going to happen next. Now, if our thing, which is precious to us, will belong to us tomorrow. Planned our day, but we don't even know if we're going to make it to our appointments or to our next meal. The last minute, just try to feel the emptiness of being in control. Where I am not in control of things anymore. I get upset when things don't go the way I want them to, because it shakes my idea that I'm in control. Take a couple deep breaths. Stretch. Thank you. I'm taking a look around to see how you're doing. Hopefully, you're not scared from this understanding that we're not in control. But I guess if you get a little bit nervous, that's a good sign, because it's breaking your misunderstanding. Let's remember that little kid on the wire in my first picture. This isn't too serious. We're trying to stay in our joy, in our peace of mind, in that joyful mind. And when we fall off, when we become off balance, we can remember these first two flavors of emptiness. Oh, did I think it was going to happen? Did I think that I could control what's going to happen tomorrow? And if you can say, yes, I did that, then you can remind yourself of the truth, that things are empty of those two qualities. Things are not unchanging, and we're not in control in the moment. So I spent almost half the class on these first two flavors of emptiness. I find that most of my upset kind of starts here. So I wanted to give you this tool strongly, I hope, to help you with the daily things or the big problems that come up in our life. And you can remember, when you recall the emptiness of these two qualities of things, you can remember that it's helping you to keep your peace of mind. And it's an antidote. Thinking about the emptiness cleans the old negative seeds that caused the problem. So if you feel nervous, oh no, I'm not in control, you can do a quick coffee meditation, rejoiceful that, oh, I cleaned up the bad seeds that are causing these negative things. I'm going to move a little more quickly through the next two. They're deep ideas, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the ideas themselves. Now we have the idea that the car is made in a factory. The car showed up at the car dealership, this used car that I bought. And I randomly was there that day picking out this car to purchase 5 years ago. Our misunderstanding is that me and my car are separate sets of circumstances that just happened to come together in the parking lot when the car broke down. The truth of the matter is that my car and I are intimately connected. We can, talk about the idea of karma here, that my karma, my seed ripening, brought me and my car together. This is mind-only school thinking. And the idea is that me and my car arise from one seed, not two separate sets of karma, but from one set, my karma. Karma. I used a car in here. We're talking about karma now. So you're going to, for the meditation, you're going to use the same object perhaps that you used in the first meditation. And you're going to think about how you think of your object, whatever object you're using, as separate from your own seeds ripening. And the truth is that my car breaking down in the parking lot comes from what I think, said, and did in the past. So your object, the perfectness of it, maybe you're thinking of a perfect, beautiful thing that you love the most. The way, how much you care about that thing, how beautiful it is, comes from your seeds, what you thought, said, and did in the past. And I kept with the picture of this lady who's in control, because she thinks that the things around her don't have anything to do with, her ability to go through the day. Like she thinks her karma is not going to come back to bite her in the butt. Let's just put it like that, right? She thinks she's safe. Now, the fourth flavor of emptiness has to do with how we feel about things. So let me explain this picture to you, because you're probably wondering, what the heck is going on here? So this yellow van is a van that my father had when I was a young child. This was very special to me because I didn't live with my dad, and he would take us camping. And this is like called a pop-up van. That the top comes up at this cool angle and there's a bed up there. So I have really warm childhood memories of this van. It's not the actual van, it's just a similar one. And actually, I want to cry right now because I care so much about this van. But many people will have a different opinion of this van. And that's the picture on the other side of the screen. This van doesn't go very fast. And if there's a hill, especially, it goes really slow up the hill. And everybody else behind the van is going to get stuck in a traffic jam. So when the person passes the van that's slowing down all the traffic, and they see this van at the front of the line and they're passing it, they are not having warm feelings about the van. They might be having angry feelings. They might hate this van, or all vans like it. Geshe Michael uses the example of a favorite song. You may have heard him talk about that before. He likes to use Neil Young because he loves Neil Young. And he says other people hear Neil Young like a screeching eunuch. A eunuch is somebody who no longer has all their male organs. I'm not sure that's even politically correct, but a screeching cat maybe would be better. So we all have different favorite music, and someone else doesn't like it. So we think that the way we see things is the way it is. If we like something or somebody, we think others are also having that same feeling. That's the gakja. The truth is, everybody is having their own experience of the object. And this is the cause of lots of disagreements in our life. This is why we fight with other people. Because we think something is good and they think something is bad. Or they think something is good and we think something is bad. I mean, right now, this is the story in the United States with politics. We are very divided. We all want the same thing, but we have this huge disagreement about how to find happiness. So much so in America that I saw our credit rating as a country has downgraded because We have so much political discord and disagreement. Okay, let's try a meditation on this topic. I'll talk you through it, so I'll give you the reminders. Sit up tall again. We already had one short meditation, so we don't need much time to just bring our awareness back to our breath. Let the mind relax. Recall the same object that you thought of for the first meditation. If that works for you, you can change objects if you want to. Try to get a visual of that object or the situation, the feeling, try to make it real. Try to get in touch with the idea that you and the object of your meditation are from separate causes. You have come together randomly. Try to find that part of yourself that believes that. Once you have that strongly in your mind, cancel that idea. It's not true. We ourselves and the things around us come from the same seed in one moment. We see ourselves and the object as we do, forced on us by our past thoughts, words, and deeds. Focus on the absence of an object that could be random, that we are in contact with from random causes. Focus on the absence of that. Doesn't exist. Never did exist. Never could. Let's go on. Someone's speaker is on. And let's go on now to the next idea that how we perceive the object is the same way everyone else does. What you think is beautiful, or what you dislike, depending on what the object of your meditation is right now, is the way it is from its own side. Try to get in touch with that wrong idea first. There's a part of your mind that really believes that. How could anybody like that guy? Now cancel that idea, that wrong idea. There is no good or bad quality in the object that you're meditating on. Everybody has their own experience. Forced on them by their past thoughts, words, and deeds. For the last moment, just focus on the emptiness of any quality coming from the object, good or bad, doesn't exist. Take a deep breath. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. You have a stretch. So those two are kind of easy to see how they cause upset to us, I think. The first two, for me, bring up a little more fear of losing what we care about, or not being in control of keeping what we like close to us and keeping what we don't like away from us. Misunderstanding is the cause of this grasping and this pushing away, which causes us so much pain in our lives. And that's why I find these 6 flavors of emptiness so helpful. Because the highest one is the one that can really help us, and we're getting to that soon. But these smaller misunderstandings, I find, are what cause my negative states of mind all throughout the day. I hope that you can spend some time in these meditations and look for how these first 4 cause you to lose your peace of mind, and how recalling the emptiness of these first 4 flavors is a strong antidote to the negative seeds that are ripening from our past. So I think this tool can really help us to have more joy in our day and to live, the life that we want to live, to go towards the goal that we want to go towards, which is a life of happiness, joy, and being of service to others. Okay, we're going to move on now to the last two flavors. The last two flavors have the same misunderstanding as their, the same emptiness, that nothing exists from its own side. Sorry, I didn't language that right. So they're empty of the same thing, a self-existent thing. I chose this picture of the car now being on fire because this shows refuge in a worldly way. We call the fire department when the car is on fire. And it shows from a Buddhist perspective what's going on in samsara, in our life. The house is on fire. Nobody's getting out of here alive. So we've got a problem. And we've got small problems too. So this picture represents our big problem: old age, sickness, and death. But it also represents the big problems that we come across in our daily life, those big milestones of losing a loved one, losing our job, war, having a marriage fall apart, illness, diseases that are terminal or not curable, that we have to live with for our whole lives. So we're now in the higher school, the middle way school of Buddhism. And the lower middle way says that we misunderstand thinking that things come from their own side. It's not correct. What is correct is that it takes two to tango. It takes the object arising from its side, and it takes a mind to perceive it that is a not messed up mind, a clear mind. So without the object and the mind coming together, it doesn't exist. Keep in mind that as we are going through these flavors, all the other ones apply. It's not changing. We're not in control. We don't come from separate karma. The goodness or badness is not in the thing. And not only all of that, but you can't even say it exists unless you have the object arising from one side and the mind to perceive it from the other side. Those two come together. The higher middle way goes one step further, though. And they say, well, if you go looking for that object that appears from its own side, you're not going to find it. And there's a lot of proofs of that. I'll mention one proof just to help your own mind in meditation, is that object has parts. So when the mind is looking at the object, it's taking a group of parts and putting it together as the object. And those parts have parts. This is what we study in ACI. Why does it help us? Because how we put the parts together isn't random, comes from our past seeds, so we can change it. That's why this is the highest form of emptiness. I'm going to leave you to meditate on this one yourself, because we don't have time to do a good meditation on this one, this highest form of meditation. What I'd like to do with the last few minutes is talk about gratitude. When I studied these 6 flavors of emptiness again recently, I listened to the tapes of Geshe Michael. And I really spent time deeply thinking about this. And at each level of emptiness, I felt so grateful that things change so I can create what I want. I don't have to be stuck with what I have now that isn't working for me. I'm changing, the things around me are changing, so we can get better. The things around me are available to change into what I need them to be. And each level you can go through that like that. It comes from, I'm not in control. My seeds are in control. We don't come from separate seeds. When I change my seeds, I change everything. And because how I feel about things comes from me, everything can be beautiful. There's not one thing that exists that couldn't be perfect. And in the highest understandings, in the middle way school, 50-50 is helpful. Start there. You know, how the object can't exist until I see it with my seeds. And then you can slip in meditation to the highest understanding of emptiness and realize that you're the 100% creator of yourself and everything around you, which means you're never a victim of circumstances and you're always the creator of your beautiful life. I did not leave a lot of time for questions, and I apologize about that. But I could take one question, if anyone has a burning question. I hope that these 6 flavors of emptiness are something that you can incorporate into your life starting today. And notice how the mind goes up, bringing the mind up, bringing the mind up. Some days you're going to be at a lower level of understanding, and that's fine. All you can muster is things change. This situation is going to change if I just hold on and don't fall apart. It's going to change. It's going to get better. You can customize how you use these, when you use these. But I do encourage you to use these 6 flavors of emptiness to get yourself and your mind more solid in that highest understanding of emptiness, which solves all our problems. Oh, I had one more slide. I'm sorry. I forgot about it. Perfect timing, because I was just about to say, well, I guess that's all. But here's the last thing I wanted to say. This is the class that I studied. I've listened to it twice, once a long time ago and once recently. When I studied it this time, it was very powerful. I was weeding the forest. I live in a forest and there's an invasive weed. And I went out there and I weeded the forest while I listened to this teaching. And I got the feeling I was pulling out my ignorance seeds, not just our negative seeds of what we did wrong in the past, but the way we misunderstand the world. And then right after I finished studying it, I had an accident and I broke my ribs. I took that as a really good sign. Cracking through our cage of misunderstanding. Still hurts a little bit now. Almost done. Thank you all. Thank you, Ale. Thank you, ACI, all the tech crew, the translators for helping us be able to share these beautiful ideas. And to all of you for coming, giving me the opportunity to share. Without you, I can't see myself trying to share ideas that will help other people. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Alix, for a wonderful class. And I have one question for you. Could you talk about just briefly about your upcoming event, the summit that you are organizing?
Yes, thank you, Ale, for asking about that. So as the director of the nonprofit Sky Harvest, I'm involved in organizing an education summit on ecological restoration. We're working at Diamond Mountain, which is a really amazing thing because it's a very important place to a lot of my teachers. Many of my teachers spent 3-year retreat there after studying there for many years. So what we're doing is we are trying to make an oasis, a paradise there and in the surrounding area. So if you really want to come, we might be able to fit you in person. This is on arriving August 13th. But most importantly to all of you, thank you, Ale, for posting that, is you can come online. Every day there's 2 educational speakers about ecological restoration, experts in their field about managing water, managing soil, managing native seeds and native plants and wildlife in the area. It's going to be amazing. So you can sign up. And please do sign up to come online, even if you only can make it to 1 or 2 sessions or watch the recordings later. It's helpful to us to have good energy of people coming to watch online. So thank you for asking, Ale, and I'll be down there, so I'll see you all online, I hope, in the educational sessions.
Thank you, Alix. And talking about gratitude, I want to thank the volunteers who work tirelessly to help us to produce these classes. They are very dedicated students, and they become volunteers for ACI. They are in many areas of our programming, like marketing, translations, contact with the teachers like Sevlana. Thank you so much for all what you do. And if you would like to become a volunteer, please reach out to us. We always need more hands to produce more classes. And also I want to say that thank you to the generosity of all the donors and supporters of ACI. These classes are for free. Mostly ACI programming is for free, so you can transform your life and you can use the wisdom that ACI is producing, Geshe Michael is translating, and all the teachers are teaching to transform your life. So if you would like to help us to keep our mission to have these classes for free, please donate something to our cause, whatever you can. And if you cannot donate money, you can always donate some time and plant tremendously powerful seeds. And thank you so much, all of you, for coming, because all this work, all this time is for you. So thank you so much for coming. Please come back in our next session that will be in September 17th with Venerable Sumati. So he will bring us a special topic. So please come. And if you would like to have more information about our upcoming events like Medicine Buddha, ACI Foundation courses, ACI teacher training courses, and all the special classes that we have for you, please visit our website and you will see more information about it. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you, Ale. You're so amazing. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everybody.